technical analysis with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today, let us try to make sense of what April is going to likely look like. In fact, let's talk about April all the way to May. What is Bitcoin likely to do? Because just after hitting 48k, Bitcoin has dived back almost down to 42,800 zone. So the point is, are we still going lower, or are we going to see a change in this market? I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. So this is what we're going to be looking at, because we're going to be doing this analysis on a multi-time frame. So I'm going to be drawing my chart using simple price action. So I'll be drawing it from the weekly chart. So after drawing the chart, I'll go ahead to break it down for you and tell you what I am seeing, forecasting what April could look like all the way to May for Bitcoin. And if you don't know, of course, a lot of altcoin are going to react. So at the end of the video, I will take a little look at chances of how altcoin are going to react to Bitcoin based on what this analysis tells us. So is altcoin going to move along with Bitcoin, or is Bitcoin going to move up or more down? Whatever it is, you are going to find out more. So what I'm going to do now is bring in the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. Now this is simple price action. This is no indicator. In fact, I am not going to use any indicator in this analysis. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy, which I developed myself using simple price action. If you want to learn more about this, please visit Makaveli Traders website and learn more. Currently, I am not accepting new students, but the family will be open to accept new members from May 3rd. So currently it's still closed. So this is the weekly chart, and I'm going to go further to try to see if I can get an inner box yet. If you want to know more about this box, just visit the link I'll leave under this description. I'm going to use blue for there, and this important zone again. Okay, beautiful. Now this is the most important thing I'm seeing on the chart based on the weekly. Now we're going to make sense of this on the weekly. We're going to make sense of the monthly, the daily, and the 4 hours. But first of all, I want us to start this analysis from the higher time frame. So if you're a day trader, I think you want to wait till close to the end of this video to know what is going to play out on the 4 hours chart. But now looking at the monthly chart, this chart is still remaining bullish, though of course what we're seeing is a bit of a sideways, right? So we're seeing a bit of a sideways around this range. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn off the whole entire drawing, because I want to describe the candlesticks. I want to make sense of the candlesticks. So of course there was a period of a accumulation or phase 1 sideways, where price buyers and sellers did have this equilibrium, and they were stuck for quite some time. In fact, this is over a long period of time, and then we have this breakout of multiple green candles for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Was a 4 to 6 months was a clear bullish move, right, on Bitcoin. But since then we have this 3-bar reversal. So we're considering the candlesticks now. We're trying to make sense of the candlesticks. So we're having this 3-bar reversal. So you see this 3-bar reversal, no good, bearish. You see this, no good, bearish. But that's fine, right? Because something again is in play. Because they are struggling, it feels like two things are in play. One, it feels like the move is just a mini reaction from the breakout on the monthly, right? But the question is, how far do they need to go before a retest? Because I know one thing about every breakout, there's always a retest. So the candlesticks that is likely forming right now is also a 3-bar reversal, which is also beautiful. See, equilibrium between the buyers and the sellers. But what this is telling us that there is a support around this range. This is why we are able to have almost the situation occurring a very close range between each other. The most beautiful thing about it is the bulls maintain the bullish market structure, right? So from what I'm seeing here, there's a high chance that the bull upward move is not over. Like the bulls moving up is not over. But for that to be confirmed, they must stay above 37k, right? Above the high of this candle on the monthly. That is to maintain the fact that, to maintain just this 2-bar reversal, to maintain the fact that they will still be in play, we need this candle that is currently this new month, April, that just opened, to change back. Now chances are high that at some point we could see April turning into green, but I don't want to get too overconfident, so it will be good we have more analysis before we can conclude on that. So what we're going to do now is, the candle says that chances are high that we are on a good support, right? Because it's the second time they are hitting on it. We are on a good support, which could lead to a move up, but hopefully we don't get another rejection, because if we get another rejection, then chances are high we're going to end up. Brief overview of what I'm saying. I'm not saying that is what is going to play out, I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. So but chances are the pull up currently is not over. On the monthly is bullish. So far so good, is bullish. This is still bullish until we see otherwise, right? So let's go further and look at the weekly chart. Now let's bring in the box and try and make sense of the market using my box strategy, and I'm going to break it down. Now on this box, I see that price, I can actually get, is it possible that they are still respecting any line? Honestly, okay, that's not gonna work. It's only 2 touches, right? Which is right here and right here, which means if they made that move I talked about, they could end up here, right? Interesting. But I don't want to focus, just a brief thing that I saw. Now let's actually take note of what is happening. According to my box, this is the support and this is the resistance, and so far so good. They are still hanging around the point where price bounced from the last side, which is around this zone, which is the support, right? So here's the thing, they've already bounced and they have gotten to that resistance area of that 48k, but I do expect them to actually make more way or make their move all the way back up. So I do see them getting all the way back up, and I will tell you why. So I'm going to take this chart to daily chart. I want to draw the seller's line, so I will tell you what I'm saying and why I say they are going to make their way all the way to 52k and 54k. So this is the daily chart. Yes, this is the daily chart, and I drew this this entire, let's see if we can even get any connection about this. Can we make sense of anything? This is previous broken. This is one we broke of recent. This was when they found the support, the first time they found the support, and they've been trying their way to make some accumulation, which is quite very interesting because it's inside the box, right, within this range, right? So that is very, very interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead back to the weekly chart. I'm going to see my control line. I need to get my control line, so I'm going to try to draw the control line of the box. Okay, So that's the control line. So that's the control line. So the control line is that point where there is more meeting between the buyers and the sellers. I had to go to the weekly chart to get that line, because that line is a very important line. So is we see this line, we see this reaction, this range. Within the range, just very close to the line, there's always a constant reaction, a constant rejection, and it looks like we're back to that line, right? Which is very important to the chart, because I'm about to explain something. They are going to actually get to that line, and that line is around the range of 42k, and we are still currently trading around 33,300. So I do expect them, just like they sat on the line, in fact they could pierce in through the line, and if they pierce in through the line, it will force them to get to the 40k range. So they could push and pierce their way through the line, just like they did in the past here. You can see the same line stop them here. So what I do see is this. What I do see is that price is likely going to hit this point and pull back. So we could see that this is the weekly candle that is left 2 days to close. So we could see price hitting it. Chances are high right now they're going to pull all the way to this point, to that 40k range. At worst case scenario, they could get their way to that 37. That's why I say, the reason why I say this 37k is very likely is this. So I'm going to go back. So we're done with this line, so I'm going to take it out. That was the breakout of the seller's line, so I'm going to take that line out. So this second line that I do now has already gotten like 3 touches, right? So we had the first one right here, and we had the second one, and we had the third one. So chances are very high that they could return to that line, and that could be that is also still around the range of my support. But first, they have to break the control line of 42k. So if they don't break it, I see them attempting another way up, right? So they could reverse, and this time around they will break this 48k and they will enter all the way to 52k, right? So around 52k there's a reaction, because in the past you can see, in fact, the entire of this point is my resistance of this support, right? So my target is, as I enter here, I am targeting actually this range. So that's how I am looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. Entering the support to target what the resistance, and of course we've already hit the resistance area, but we've not entered, and chances are high that this bull. So here's what I'm saying on the weekly. At worst case scenario, they get pushed down further to this point. Worst case scenario, 38k, 37k. But I don't see that happening. Why? Is because they will have to first of all battle the buyers on the control line. The buyers on the control line will do their best to want to keep this price above control line. So what I'm saying is that next week, this is 2 days to the closing of this week. So by next week, it's highly possible that the candle has 2 choices: either to push up and continue the move and get us out of 48k into 52k, or we get it, breaking it and heading to 37k. But whatever case happen, I see chances are high that they will not go back into my box. So the most important thing in this area is my box. So worst case scenario is that they come back at the tip of it, but chances are high that this control line will not allow that happen. So 42k is still a very, so between let me give it a range, that 8k range all the way to 42k range is very important to them, because you can see the wick. I don't want to give you a particular price because I treat support and resistance as an area, not a line. So you can see sometimes they will pierce through it, sometimes they will pierce through it. So it's good to always treat it as an area. This range, as far as price is trading in this range, what will force you to treat it even as an area is the fact that there could be a sideways around this price, forcing price to go back and forth this range. It will go back and forth the range, back and forth the range. So what particular range do you want to actually get in? But if you're already in the market, I think the market is still quite something you want to hold on for, because the bulls are not done. I do see these bulls actually returning to 52k to 54k, though they will get a strong reaction around at worst 56k. This is the 56k range. They will get a reaction, but how far down can they go? Right? How far down can they go? They could push them down, and they could return here. But I don't want to talk about how far they go down. I want to first see them to see how far up they can go. Then with how far up they can go, I can now make a better decision of if price will continue to move up or it will go down, because in this market anything is possible. So I don't want to say price must turn around when it gets to that range, because chances are high we could even see 64k to the upside, which we confirm, because if we see 64k, then it's going to be a return to this point and they could get rejection right here. So sorry, that's too much. So something like this instead, here like this. So it will now complete the what, right? And of course, right, something like this. But when they get here, this place is the neckline. Chances are high that the neckline will reject the breakdown. This is for long-term purpose, but I don't want to go far deep into it, because before then I would have come here to update the chart, and this chart is constantly changing because volume is changing and the amount of capital entering the market is constantly changing. So let's take our analysis all the way down to daily chart, because now we're going to start making sense of what is happening in the intraday, right? So the chart we drew on weekly, let's see what it looks like if it's tradable on the daily chart. So this is what the chart looks like. So we stay open-minded. Why should we stay open-minded? They are very close to a very important range. Like I said, in the past, this range has really been something that the bulls has been respecting, both the bulls and the bears, not just the bulls. The both parties have constantly paid homage to this control line. That is why I call it a control line. They are in charge of what is going on. They tend to react anytime price is it. And as it is, BTC, it is not, Bitcoin is not far from that line. In fact, they could just reverse around it, right? So chances are we could get a reverse up, but chances are they will touch it. It's just a few push. They've already made it to 42,800, 42,700. So the next weak candle could be the one that could push a little down. So I could see a sideways kind of thing happening, prices where price is, so we could get a little sideways and before price continues, right? Either it continues up or it goes down. But like I said, I see the chances are high of a down move. So for me, in my opinion, I still do see a little pullback coming, but I like staying open-minded, because if they can stay above so here's the thing. I think before I say what I'm about to say, I don't want to jump the gun. I like being open. Let's look at 4 hours and then draw a mini box. Inside this box, I want to understand what went on here, because if I can understand and make sense of what went on there, then I can now project if we're going to get a deeper retest or price is likely going to stand on the control line, and this time around we get in onto probably 52k range, right? This range. So to make a better sense of that, let's see what has been going on in the sideways and how the breakout occur on the 4 hours chart. You might ask me, why don't I just do that on the daily chart? Yes, on the daily chart, my box strategy says the middle of the box is not a good place to buy. That's what my strategy says. The middle of the box is a drama house. if you don't like drama, you avoid that point, right? So because you're going to get yourself stuck and you want to almost give up. But the good thing is that they are already above the control line, because when they are below the control line, the sell-off pressure is high. When they are above it, the sell-off pressure is low and the buy power is high. The buy power is rising because very soon they will clear the sellers who sold this 52k range. So 4 hours, let's take a deep view, or should I say in-depth view? God, what kind of English was that? So I'm going to take a look deep into the chart. I'm going to zoom in. So if I'm to trade this chart, of course it will be well zoomed in like this. So this is what the chart looks like. So I'm going to use the opportunity. You can see I need to draw a mini box for the 4 hours so that it is understood easily, because it's now intraday we are dealing with. So I'm going to draw the box yet again. So I'm drawing the box now. So if I'm to trade 4 hours, I'll be trading this box that I'm drawing right now. All right. Okay, good, beautiful. So this is the box, and this range, whenever price breaks above my box, it tends to come for a retest, and the goal of the retest is that it keeps itself within this range. It does not return below this range, it stays above it, because anything that returns it below this range, it will head for the bottom of the box, which is minimum of this range, right? So with that at the back of my mind, please, this line, with that at the back of my mind, it really brings, I think I need to move this a little up. I am considering the reactions that happened here is more important than just looking at just these two, right? I see multiple more reactions around this range, so I'm going to keep the box there. So I'm going to try and see if I can bring the control line of this particular box that I just drew right now, right there. I'm drawing this box for the sake of, if I was to trade 4 hours, this is how I would trade it, and I'm going to explain it for you now. So according to the box, there was a breakout of the 4 hours box, a breakout of the 4 hours chart, which is very important. The 4 hours box was a mini consolidation. So this consolidation has been going on since when? Since January all the way towards March. That's like 3 months sideways market. When they had the breakout led them all the way to leave 42k to 44k range, because that's the resistance, 42k to 44k range. Each time they come, they get rejected. That is why they were able to break it and make it to 48k. But again, remember, 48k is our daily our daily chart box range, right? I drew 3 box now, and I'm about to show you. This is 1, which is the daily box, and this is 2, which is the weekly box, the bigger box. Then this is 1 here, which is the 4 hours box. Each box has its own function. So you can draw the box on any time frame, it works. Whatever your time frame you're trading, it works. So according to the box, price is still at a good range and price can change direction back up. Why? Because price is still maintaining this point. price is still maintaining this point. As long as price is maintaining this point, they are likely going to push them a little lower to touch the what 42k range, right? Like I said, at worst they touch the 42k, but as long as they are in this range, this price is likely still going to make it up. And when it make it up, it's going to likely what head all the way here. That is what the box is saying. So this week, like I said, is remaining 2 days to the closing. The new weekly candle is going to determine what is going to push up. So definitely I would have come to update. This is likely that if the weekly candle by any means go below 40k, expect the price to end up in 37k range. This point. And there's no coincidence. I want to zoom out so that you see something. This trend line, there's no coincidence, it is actually at that point. So the trend line, I remember our trend line, this trend line, we will see it better if it's on daily because we drew it on daily chart. This trend line that had 2 touches around this range and 1 touch here, this trend line is the trend line that is holding the bulls right now. So at worst case scenario is that they will return and touch the trend line again, right? At worst case scenario, which will even force a further move up. So if they end up saying that they will force the move down to acquire more strength. Remember, when they go down, they are looking for more money. The price is going down because it's looking for more buyers. So if it eventually comes back here, it is definitely going to find stronger buyers that will definitely end up taking it all the way to that 52k to 54k range next, and they will enter the box. So their first reaction will be around this range, which you can see in the past there was a reaction. So 52k range to 54k range before they will now make their way back down. But I do see this on the 4 hours that first of all they have to break back out, because when you fall into the resistance area, it's a trap. If you don't know what you're doing, you will get stuck. So these bulls do not want to get stuck in the trap because they have broken out of this area before, and if they mistakenly falls below it, it will now turn to a fake out. So if these bulls goes anything below 40k, then this breakout we had automatically turns into a fake out. Because why is it a fake out? Because already you've left the box, this box, right? You've left. Why return? And when you return, the accommodation is supposed to be that your previous resistance is now supposed to be turned into support. So the previous resistance is supposed to, the 42k range is supposed to turn it into for support so that they can continue their move the way up, thereby even easily maintaining bull market structure of this line. There's yet another mini line right there. So I can connect that line. Let me zoom in so that you see it better. So I'm going to take away all this. So just look at the coincidence. So the bulls have to somehow stay above my box. You can see the line. I just connected 1 and 2 and 3. That is the bias line they have been respecting. But my box says there is no coincidence. You can see my box is meeting it. My box said do not fall below this range, because if you fall below this range, is a trap that will get you to at least minimum of 38k. You're going to either land on this 38k, which is right here, or you're going to to 40k, which is right here, or you're going to find yourself around 37, at worst 36k here. And when it gets here, it's going to clear stop losses here, which is more like market makers. So when such a thing happens, just know that it's these whales, the market makers are cooking something, because forcefully they will reverse the move to come, and this time around they will clear this point. and they will enter the resistance area. Who are they trying to clear? The sellers right here. That is their goal. They want to clear the sellers right here. So that's what I see. So they have the chance of still making it and attacking that 48k, but I know if they attack 48k directly from where they are, they will definitely break it because they are just returning to it. But chances are high that they could go lower. So stay open-minded. And how does this affect altcoin? Honestly, I'll be honest with you. If Bitcoin makes it and hold this current support, altcoins are also going to try to stand. Though some altcoins will take a while to stand because the past 2 days has really been a push. So they will need more accumulation, while others will follow through. I'm going to make analysis on Ethereum as well and explain furthermore what I am saying on the chart. So this is what I'm saying on this market coming, and I am definitely going to try as much as possible to come and update you. Like I said, I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.